Welcome to the 45th annual LA Watts Summer Games, sponsored by the Los Angeles Junior Chamber Foundation. We're at the Roybal Learning Center in downtown Los Angeles as the Compton Tarbabes take on the Hart Indians. And hello everybody, Rob Render alongside Paul Westfall. Should have an outstanding ball game between Compton and Hart as you take a look at Miles Franklin. Paul, one of the best players we're going to see on the floor today.
Oh, an explosive guard. He's the complete guard. He can score, pass, and defend, and he makes, with a combination with Lewis Stallworth, one of the best guard combinations in the CIF.
And for Compton, Isaiah Sweeney.
Well, Sweeney, an outstanding player as well. He being one of the more highly recruited players in the Southland, and he's going to be a special one for Coach Thomas.
We'll take a look at this afternoon's starting lineups as Compton gets ready to take on Hart. The Foothill League, Hart was a second-place team, 8-2 behind West Ranch, and Compton at 9-3 behind 12-0 Long Beach Poly. As there are the starters: Lonsinger, Flatby, Stallworth, Franklin, and Malley. For Hart, Lake, Sweeney, Cartwright, Lewis, and Pritchett, the five on the floor for Compton. As you take a look at Hart head coach Tom Kelly in his 13th year, they beat Westchester to get to the championship game here in Watts, 58-49 victory. Foothill League champions in 2005. He's been there for a while and has established a quality program. And now Tony Thomas in his 7th year, following the footsteps of his father Eddie, who was an outstanding head coach with Compton. Eddie unfortunately passed away about 2 decades ago or so, maybe even a little bit more. And Tony, as I mentioned, in his 7th season, a team that last won the CIFs in 1969. It's been a while, but he's had a ton of talent come through, and this year is no different. Isaiah Sweeney, Kyron Cartwright, Tremel Pritchett, the list goes on and on, Paul.
Well, Compton, year in and year out, takes on all comers. They play as difficult a non-league schedule as anybody around in order to get them ready for the rigors of the Moore League and the ensuing CIF Southern Section playoffs. Compton and Hart, two of the best teams in that new Division III AAA.
Welcome back to the Roybal Learning Center, the LA Watts Summer Games Championship between Compton and Hart. Compton in the white jerseys with blue lettering across, black on the numbers. Hart in road black jerseys, some of them a little different than others, but most of them with red lettering, as the opening tip is won back by Compton. They have the first offensive possession of our game. Robert Lewis working on the perimeter. Very good inside player as well. Tremel Pritchett, and off to the right side. They'll get things set up with a player whose number we don't currently have on our roster. There was no number 13 given to us, so we'll have to find out. Lewis finds Isaiah Sweeney, whose jumper is off the backside of the iron. With Isaiah Bailey not available today for Compton, he's in the Adidas games. It'll be up to Sweeney to supply a lot of the offense, as a three is off from Miles Franklin, but an offensive rebound, and Hart can reset things offensively.
Good hustle by Max Fladby to keep the possession alive.
Stallworth on that jump shot, no. Compton on the boards. They try a long outlet, but it's taken away by Frank Lonsinger. Here's Lonsinger to the rim and an offensive foul. Now it's going to be very important, Paul, for this Hart team, a team that is a bit undersized in this game, to take advantage of their quickness.
Good move by Lonsinger that time, but equally good play by our mystery defender for Compton.
It's actually going to be Kyron Cartwright. I was just given the information, Paul. So instead of wearing the number 25, which is what we had on our original rosters, he is wearing number 13. Kyron Cartwright, a very good player, 8 assists per game this year. Cartwright being matched up by Lonsinger. Finds Sweeney. We'll see how much they try to isolate Sweeney. Very good one-on-one defender guarding him in Stallworth, as a foul was called. This one will be on Miles Franklin, who can't believe it. And that sends Robert Lewis to the free throw line for 2.
Lewis, a very good shooter, particularly from distance, type of guy who can hit 4, 5, 6 in a row.
left-hander and a junior at 6'1", 175. Played his first year on the varsity this year. But his head coach, Tony Thomas, said that he was the best player, the most improved player on the team and maybe the best shooter on the squad.
Yeah, there was a game when I think he had, like, in the playoffs, he might have had 16 points and a half.
Stallworth had that shot rejected by Sweeney on the window. Boy, can he ever get up. Now Cartwright off balance, and it's out off of Hart. The foot of Frank Lonsinger got in the way.
We didn't have too much of a chance to talk about Sweeney in the open, but he can play the 2 or the 3. A great finisher. He can also shoot the 3 ball and a very smooth handle. He is being looked at by a lot of powerful Division I colleges.
And most prominently, Gonzaga's been out to see him a number of different times. And they think Gonzaga eventually will offer him something, although it hasn't happened quite yet. Lonsinger tiptoes the baseline. Now left elbow, and the jump shot is off from Luke Maley. Here's Compton in transition. Robert Lewis from 15, got it. A good start for Robert Lewis. He has all 3 points in our game. About 2.5 minutes played. It'll be interesting to see how Miles Franklin looks to attack against this swarming Compton defense. Stallworth goes to the rim, switches hands in midair and lays it home.
Very nicely done. Saw the defense coming. Here's a steal for Hart.
Yeah, taken away by Miles Franklin, whose shot rolls off the front side of the iron. Not much slowing down as Sweeney gets 2.
Compton likes to get it out and go, and if they feel they're going to get the defensive rebound cleanly, they'll make that first hit ahead to midcourt, and they're off and running.
Stallworth averaged 18 points a game this year for Hart, as we'll have a kick ball. The shot clock resets to a full 35 seconds with exactly 5 minutes to play in our opening quarter. We're playing 4 quarters, each one of them 8 minutes in duration. Franklin's pass deflected, goes out of bounds far sideline, and it will be off of Hart. Max Flatby got a fingertip on it, I believe, and Compton will get it right back. And a timeout will be taken by Tom Kelly, the Hart head coach, either not happy with the pace or maybe not so much with the team the way his team has set up offensively.
Well, I think he wants to make sure that they're on the same page when Compton goes into that run and jump defense where they double team along the sideline. Because of Compton's quickness and their length defensively, you better be prepared to make a good, quick first pass out of that double team, and then if you reverse the basketball very quickly, it should result in some open looks, but you need to do that with authority, and you need to do it quickly.
Today's telecast brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Watch more sports on more devices in the house than anyone else. Call 1-800-TW-CABLE to find out how. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy sports better. Rob Renner, Paul Westphal. We're in the first quarter of the LA Watts Championship Summer Game. 5-2, Compton ahead of Hart. Deep 3 from Cartwright, and the southpaw drills it. Big-time shot from a big-time player.
And his jumper continues to get better from year to year, and if he gets where he can knock those down with regularity, he's going to be almost impossible to guard because he's very quick off the bounce.
Maley moving the baseline, and now Stallworth with the open jumper. Cartwright going to the USC Elite Camp during the summer this year as Sweeney knocks down a 15-footer left baseline. Nice looking shot.
So smooth with the bounce and has the ability to make that mid-range jumper. He's a load. Very tough to handle one-on-one.
Stallworth trying to spin, and it goes down with the right hand. He got around Cartwright.
Pretty move there, and you know you're going to be challenged if you get past the first line of the Compton defense. You better be ready for the next one.
The backdoor lob intended for Sweeney was a bit too high for him and probably anyone as Maley hoists a 3. And Compton all over the window early on in today's game.
Yeah, it's been one and done every time for Hart.
That's not a good-looking jump shot from Isaiah Sweeney. Far too strong. And some substitutions will be made by Compton.
You'll see a beautiful one-on-one move, spin dribble, and a little fadeaway by Stallworth. These two guards for Hart, a great combination. They had such a magical season last year. Got out 16-0, and at one point were 24-1. And then Franklin got dinged up a little bit, changed the complexion of the team, ended up losing in the second round. Bit of a stunning way to finish.
Henry Wynn is in the lineup now for Hart. He's wearing the number 12. Slow start for Miles Franklin, who has it now. And Stallworth on the reset with 9 to shoot. Lewis moves right, now skips back to Franklin, gonna have to shoot it. 3 seconds, off balance, and he banked it in.
Oh, he'll take it.
Yeah, not what he meant to do, I'm sure, but it's all he could do at that point. As Cartwright tries an off-balance shot, this one does not go. Win on the rebound. 10-6, a frenetic pace early on. That's another tough contested shot from Miles Franklin. The offensive rebound for Tucker, but he throws it away. Back the other direction, Robert Lewis for 2.
If you turn it over, Compton will hurt you in transition. They can all run and they can all handle it, and some awfully good finishers for Compton.
12-6, the Tarbabes ahead. Lewis has 5 as there's a 3 out of the corner, and it's drilled by Lewis Stallworth. I said he averages 18 points a game, but he's coming off a 24-point effort against Westchester in the semifinals of this tournament. Floating jump shot, moving left, Isaiah Sweeney.
That's just good offense beating good defense. He rises above the defense, which was in pretty good position. Nice soft touch by Sweeney.
Well, there's no rest for the weary in this game. There's a host of substitutes getting ready to check in, and that's because the pace has been so great. Shot off one leg, comes up short from Stallworth, but the putback is through.
Flatby.
Yeah, Max Flatby, the junior.
He's been very active on the glass so far, and because Compton has a tendency to help out defensively, if your man goes to help, you go to the front of the rim and see if you can get something to clean up.
Minute 15 to go in the first quarter. Gorgeous spin move and the friendly bounce from Isaiah Sweeney.
Such a soft touch as he got 8 already in the contest and an array of shots.
Stallworth gets double teamed, finds Franklin. A little bit uncomfortable looks like right now for Franklin. Passing when he has one-on-one opportunities. Here he'll take a 3. Halfway around the rim, doesn't go. Nice rebound, Flatby, and he's fouled on his way up.
I like it. Max going strong to the offensive glass again, and that time looked to take it right back to the front of the rim. Used a good right-hand power move and gets himself a 2-shot opportunity, but I like what I see from Max Flatby. He is attacking the glass.
Flatby listed at 6'4", 160 pounds. Long, thin, rail-like build. And shooting some free throws. Haven't seen many of these yet. 48 seconds to go in the first quarter as he drills the first. And here come all those substitutions I was talking about a few moments ago. Kelvin Swint is in, a senior at 6', 175 for Compton. Also Zeno Lake returns at 6'5", 190 pounds. Also a very improved player, according to Tony Thomas. As the second free throw is no good. And the rebound gathered in by Kevlin Swint. Backing in is Cartwright. Nice up and under move as he banked it home. Got around his initial defender and then shot it over the second one that was running at him.
Good patience that time.
Question about that. Boy, is he an outstanding player. You can see the skill level. We'll have a traveling violation. And that'll turn it right back over to Compton with 23 seconds to go in the period. Here's that spin move.
And he knew the defender was coming at him, so he didn't shoot it right away. Instead, a little bit of a hesitation and let the defender go by, and that is a pretty offensive move off the glass.
Compton can hold for the final shot of the quarter if they choose to. Crossover move, and a pull-up jump shot is an air ball right into the hands of Lewis. He'll step back for 3, short. Yet another offensive board, this time Swint, shot with the buzzer about to go off is no good. And that takes us to the end of the first quarter. A frenetic pace is a friendly way to put it, Paul, as we head to the second of the LA Watts Summer Games, the championship round between Compton and Hart. We're back with more basketball action after this. Welcome back inside the Roybal Learning Center. Rob Render and Paul Westfall. Happy to be joined by Ernest Baskerville, who's involved as one of the directors for the LA Junior Chamber of Commerce that puts together this fine event, the LA Watts Summer Games. Also a head coach at Providence High School, and it's nice to have you. Great event.
Thanks, glad to be here.
As Hart controls the basketball, the first possession of our second quarter, and a bumping foul will be called on Kevlin Swin. So talk about what it's like, Ernest, putting an event like this together, getting the teams to participate.
Well, you know, the Watts Summer Games has a great, rich history with the community. You know, it was started in 1968 as a pro way to get everyone to come back after the Watts riots went 65. So the Los Angeles Junior Chamber of Commerce, we actually, our members created this event to try to create a positive atmosphere. So a lot of people that participate, like Coach Tony Thomas Compton, he played in it as a student. I played in it as a student at my high school, so a lot of us have come back to continue to play. So it's pretty easy to reach out to guys to get them to come out and play. It's one of the only CIF certified tournaments. It's the only CIF certified tournament during the summer. So you can actually wear your regular season uniform. Unfortunately, neither team is wearing it today, but you can actually wear your regular season uniform and not be penalized.
Yeah, I don't want to complain too much about the uniform situation. We've already done enough of that, as Luke Malley made that last shot off the window for Hart. And it's an 18-14 Compton lead. The voice you were hearing a moment ago, Ernest Baskerville. Also, I mentioned his current jobs, working at the high school at Providence, and also on the directors with the LA Junior Chamber of Commerce. We'll get into your other job here in a moment as a 10-second violation be whistled down, and that'll turn it right back over to Compton yet again. Some swarming defense with 7 minutes and change to go in our second quarter. You also worked for Johnny Cochran at some point.
Yes.
Very famous name nationally. Talk about what that experience was like.
It was a very wonderful experience to work with such a great legal mind. You know, I worked for him from 1998 until he passed away in 2005 directly, and I continued to work at the firm from 2005 until about 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
And now I've moved on. I'm the new director of sports marketing for the John Wooden Award.
That was Zeno Lake taking the off-balance shot, getting knocked to the ground, and now will work himself to the free throw line to shoot a pair. Yeah, you talked about the Wooden Award, and it's a new award at this level. What was the transition? It's usually a college award, and now you're going to give it out to some high school kids as well.
Well, yes, we started giving out to high school kids probably around 10 to 12 years ago.
Okay.
But you know, the regular award started in 1976. You know, the first recipient was Marcus Johnson, who also with Crenshaw High School played in the Watts Summer Games. So it's a lot of ties that are in there to the Watts Games and the Wooden Award and the High School Wooden Award. So yes, we've been giving up to high school kids this last year. Actually, from St. John Bosco, we had Isaac Hamilton, who actually was a McDonald's All-American, receive one of the awards for the high school All-American.
There's a lot of All-Americans in this area.
Yes.
No question about that. And we're seeing a potential All-American or two on the floor today, as the second free throw from Lake is no good. Very impressed with Kyron Cartwright in the early going. And here's another outstanding player in Miles Franklin. Finding Wynn, fakes the pass, takes the three, and it's in and out. Climbing high for the rebound, Zeno Lake at 6'5". Lake in transition, lost it to the ground. Not really his fault, it was a bad pass. And on the way to the hole, a traveling violation. Miles Franklin turns it back over. Paul, I mentioned that Miles was a little bit uncomfortable, and that continues.
Well, I tell you, Compton's speed and tenacity on defense over the years makes you a little uncomfortable at times. You have a tendency to speed everything up a touch, and sometimes it's difficult, and I know you know this, Coach. It's difficult to maintain your poise against the way that Compton defends you.
There's Zeno Lake for the lay-in. Nice position and a great pass by Isaiah Sweeney. And I want to ask you a question about Isaiah Sweeney here in a second. First win on the miss. The ball tipped out of bounds. Isaiah, Ernest, is an outstanding player, and now he's showing a complete game on both ends of the floor.
Yes, he's definitely worked on his game during the offseason. I talked to Coach Tony Thomas before the game today. He's just really, really excited about how he has just really worked on transforming his game into being a more complete player. Like you said, he's known as being more of a high flyer, but now he's really gotten into being able to shoot from the outside and handle it a little more to help Cartwright get the ball up the court.
There's so much talent, and then the balance during the season next year when they have Bailey on the floor with him will be an interesting dynamic. Lewis Stallworth putting on a dribbling exhibition, gets it over to Wynn. And now Lonsinger to the hole, misses the layup. A foul on the putback attempt by Wynn, and he'll shoot free throws with 5:37 to go here in the second quarter. 20-14 Compton lead. Rob Brender and Paul Westphal and Ernest Baskerville joining us here in the second quarter of the LA Watts Championship. I mentioned that you're on the board of directors for the LA Junior Chamber of Commerce, put the event together. What else does the Chamber of Commerce get involved in?
We have a few other events that we actually do. We have an event one Saturday a month. We do a program called Ready to Learn, where we go to an inner city school and teach first graders how to read. And that's actually run by one of our board of directors named Kiri Yang. And she does a great job with that program, and the kids and the parents in that community are very, very appreciative of it.
Transition, Cartwright to the hole for two and a foul. Boy, we mentioned how good he's been, 7 points already today, and there it is in transition with the ball handling skills. Sorry to interrupt you, Ernest, but that was too good to pass up.
No problem.
As you see the nice move swinging the ball through and the layup. Go ahead and continue and talk about the events.
Oh, yeah, so we also have other mixers and professional mixers for young professionals, because the Los Angeles Junior Chamber of Commerce is for professionals under the age of 40. And so I'm right at the cusp right now, and I'm actually the incoming president next year. During my last twilight year, I'll be 40 next year.
And that's
twilight year.
Flatby misses the three, ball tipped to the ground, and it careens into the hands of Isaiah Sweeney. Sweeney along the baseline. Tremel Pritchett's jumper is off. Jump ball will be called, and possession arrow will stay right here with Compton. So there's a lot of stuff that the Junior Chamber of Commerce gets involved in, and I know we were initially scheduled to play this event at a different venue. We were going to be at Cal State Dominguez Hills. That didn't work out, but wind up moving us here to the Royal Center, and it's just a wonderful place for basketball.
It's a great facility. We actually run the Los Angeles City playoffs and finals here. And we were very appreciative. Actually, I would like to thank Roy Ball High School for opening up the facility for us on such short notice.
Yeah, it really was short notice within the last day or so. The three is missed by Lewis. Players getting tangled up underneath. Looks like everybody's all right. Tremel Pritchett and Henry Wynn. They try to shake it off.
You talked earlier, Ernest, about the rich history of the Watts Summer Games. There have been an absolute multitude of tremendous basketball players, tremendous athletes. But when I think of some of the amazing basketball players that have participated in these games, it's a staggering list.
I would use the word plethora. There's been a plethora of players that have come out. I mean, like I said, we talked about Marcus Johnson being one of the older players. We have Reggie Theus, Michael Cooper, Freeman Williams. You had a ton of guys, the older guys. Then you have a lot of younger guys. DeMar DeRozan sitting across court, Russell Westbrook, Drew Holiday. A lot of these guys who come up into the Watts games, it's been really exciting.
Cartwright is doing it all. He knocked down that last three. Now he throws the lob and the two-hand jam for Isaiah Sweeney. What a pass.
Well, and Isaiah may have worked on his all-around game, but he can still finish at the rim.
Yes, he can.
Boy, can he ever get up. And that was a great pass as we look at it again. Right on the money. And Isaiah calling for it all the way. All he had to do was elevate. That's something he knows how to do exceptionally well. You mentioned DeMar DeRozan. He is at the basketball game this afternoon. The best player probably in Compton history. I believe he's their leading scorer all time, and now in the NBA, where he's been for the last several years. He was a high school senior in 2008, I believe, at Compton. And Tony Thomas coached him and said he was incredible, of course, as the inbound and a nice play. Flatby right in the right spot, Paul.
Yeah, very nice inbound pass, and I've been impressed with what I've seen from Flatby. He not intimidated at all on the baseline.
Cartwright tries a three, and it's short. Wynn in transition, sees the defense coming at him and turns it over. Robert Lewis on the steal, breaks to the basket for the left-handed finish.
A little bit of contact against Wynn on the play, but if the referees let that go, that turned out to be an easy transition basket for Compton.
Flatby's been involved in the offense, no question about that. Jump stop in the lane by Stallworth, but it rolls off the iron. And the ball out of bounds off of Wynn with 3 minutes and 25 seconds left in our second quarter. 29-17, Compton ahead of Hart. I mentioned that Bailey's not here today, but there's so much talent on the floor that I really don't step off or lose a beat. This is Isaiah Sweeney eyeing the defense. Moves across the lane and off to Cartwright. Cartwright on the attack, and the floater is good. That is just too good from Cartwright. He has 12.
He loves to create for his slashing teammates, but he shows that if you're going to not give him a passing lane, he can finish in a variety of ways as well.
Justin DeVera in the ball game for Hart. He has the ball in his hands right now. He was defending on that play, and there was just no chance as DeVera attacks almost carelessly and gets hammered to the ground. And I believe they called it an offensive foul, so Compton will get possession again. We're joined by Ernest Baskerville.
I think they're going to get a block on that one, Rob.
Oh,
he'll go to the
take
line.
it back. I apologize. Yep, a block, so DeVera will shoot the free throws. No player control there, I guess, if you're not set. But Ernest, you mentioned you're working at Providence High School. Talk about what they've been doing the last few years, the success of that school.
Well, you know, this is going to be going into my third year at Providence. We had an amazing year my first year there. We went 26-6. We had a sensational freshman named Marcus Levette Jr., who was one of the top players in class 2015, as well as the all-time leading scorer in the school history, which was Patrick Gonzalez, who graduated that year. This past year we struggled. Levette was out ill most of the season. Then he checked out in the middle of the season, and so we struggled down the stretch. But we have a kid, Christian Ware-Berry, 3.8 GPA. I mean, getting calls from Harvard, Santa Clara, Loyola, and Maryland. So we're really looking forward to him having a big year.
Sweeney able to get that one to go off the gorgeous spin. Boy, I'll tell you what, between Sweeney and Cartwright, each of them with a dozen, and just some beautiful
play. Don't take
play.
a breath, because they're coming back the other way.
They really are. Got the full variety of moves.
I'll tell you this, Rob, as a coach, you would love to have a problem of having too many guys that can score.
Yeah, really. That miss from Cartwright. DeVera has it, and time called. Maybe a clock issue, as we have exactly 2 minutes to go in the second.
Shot clock never started. You know, Ernest, the thing I like best about your description of your player coming for this year was that you started with his GPA, and I tell you, I love that, because that is the most important thing of all, because that's what's going to, you know, talent will have people notice you, but it's the GPA that'll open up every door you want to open up.
I always say you want people to draw a line under your name, not through it, and having a great GPA helps.
I like that.
Miles Franklin, who averaged 18 points a game this year, gets to the baseline, but cut off nicely by Sweeney, who's got about 3 or 4 inches of height advantage on him. Flappy gonna have to hurry with 6 to shoot. Into the lane, and a nice pass. Flappy with the finish off the dish from Luke Maley.
Compton recovers so quickly on defense. Oh my goodness, here we go again. That you have to make quick, decisive decisions against their defense, and that time I thought Malley did a nice job of not panicking when he got into the paint, and he made a really good dump for the easy one. But Compton recovers so quickly defensively that you better have a pretty good idea what you want to do. I saw them play last year against, first time I saw Compton play was against Mater Dei in the Ocean View Tournament of Champions, and they gave what ended up being the top team in the state all they wanted, and then some. They had the lead in the fourth quarter, and I thought, wow, this is the best team in Division III AAA in my estimation. And although they succumbed to the eventual champion Tustin in the semis, they didn't have Sweeney, and I think had Coach Thomas had all of his pieces, I think they might have been looking at that elusive CIF championship, which they haven't had for a while.
There's a foul given right near midcourt, and Hart will inbound from the sideline right next to us. 16 fouls now on each squad, but only 1:16 to go in our first half. Very clean game thus far for the most part. Not too many sloppy turnovers. Defenses are working hard, but the talent is so great offensively that it's just hard to keep up. Miles Franklin jumps in the air to pass. Now Flatby into the corner, driving baseline Stallworth, short on the contested shot. Flatby then deflects it out of bounds.
I've been impressed with the grit from Tremel Pritchett. He may not have too many shot opportunities, but he really plays strong defense. And that time, in amongst a lot of traffic, he was the one who came away with the possession for Compton. Got to have those